What's going on, YouTube? This your boy PMG. I'm back. I'm back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about the Batman. Man, I love this movie. I love it. I've been waiting on it. I have a YouTube video talking about it. I've been waiting for it, and I love it. All right. Before I get started, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you turn this video off, go check it out, and then come back. So the Batman, Robert Pattinson, he did his thing. Everybody was doubting him, Twilight this, Twilight that, but to me, he did his thing. I really love this version of Batman. He was quiet, calculated, observant. He actually talked with his eyes. He wasn't super talkative. That's what I kind of liked about it, because Batman, if you actually look back at the old animated series I grew up on and certain animated movies and stuff, Batman don't really just talk. He's more quiet and calculated and observant, and he kind of, the way Robert Pattinson was talking with his eyes, I loved that. I loved it. The way they utilized the bat symbol. They had a bat symbol, and criminals actually started getting scared. And in this movie, they utilized shadows as a way of criminals having the suspicion that Batman could be there. So they would kind of, they might stop doing what they doing or run off because of fear of Batman might be lurking in the shadows and come out and take them out. So I loved that. I loved it. It kind of reminded me the old animated Batman series. It kind of a lot of reminiscences of that series kind of spilled over into this movie, and I really enjoyed it. The characters in here was great. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, he did an excellent job. You don't even know it's Colin Farrell. That's how much he disappeared in his character. I really enjoyed his version of the Penguin. Of course, this is not, he's growing into the Penguin we know. So for the most part, this whole movie, all the characters in the movie, Batman, the Riddler, the Penguin, Catwoman, they're growing into the characters we know. This is not going to be the versions of them that we know, for the most part, in the comics. So, like, even Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman, he makes mistakes, and as far as him as Bruce Wayne, he's not the typical Bruce Wayne we're accustomed to. He's still kind of new to all of it. So I think, to me, it's a different take. I really enjoyed that. I didn't care too much for him as Bruce Wayne, but I understand it's going to be a progression over the course of the next few movies, and I like that. He made mistakes. I like that, because you get to see the growth throughout the sequels, to see him get better. And the Penguin, he's not really the Penguin we're accustomed to. I feel like his character's going to grow. Catwoman, she's reminiscent of what we're used to, but I still think it's room for growth in her character too. Who else? The Riddler. The Riddler was brutal in here. He was brutal. I feel like if this movie was rated R, it would have been, you would have seen a lot more gruesomeness when it comes to the kills and murders and stuff. But the Riddler did his thing in here. He even outsmarted Batman, which I like, because it was kind of like, oh, we think we got him, but then he was like, nah, you ain't pay attention to everything. So I love that part. And at one point I thought he knew who Bruce Wayne was, but then you realize he don't know. At one point I thought he knew Batman was Bruce Wayne, but then the scene where he was talking to the Riddler, I kind of realized, like, nah, he don't know Batman is Bruce Wayne. But even Alfred, with Andy Serkis, I feel like he did a great job as Alfred. he wasn't in the movie too much, but I love what he did. He did a pretty good job. Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, she did an excellent job. And overall, man, I really, really enjoyed this movie. Like the introduction to the Batmobile. That man, it was off the chain, bro. I was in the movie theater like, yeah, I was in the movie theater hype when the way they introduced it, like you start hearing the engine and he was revving it up, and then how they kind of showed it off in the shadows. That jump was perfect. I really, really enjoyed that particular scene. The scene where he walked down the hallway and the way he was taking out the guys, I loved it, man. This movie I really, really enjoyed. Trying to think about what else. Really, my nitpick. I don't really take this as a real negative because I know in future installments this character is going to progress. Is his version of Bruce Wayne. His version of Bruce Wayne kind of came off like creepy and weird. Like, I don't know, but I think it's going to be a progression to where he's going to become the Bruce Wayne that we know. But you never know. Matt Reeves might do something different. We'll see. But that's my only really nitpick. But other than that, I overall really enjoyed this movie. What else? I'm trying to figure out, did I cover everything? They have a, it ain't really an end credit scene. Basically, at the end of the very, very ending of the movie, you see that the Riddler is talking to the Joker, and they kind of growing like this friendship, which I like. And Matt Reeves already confirmed that this is the Joker, but I'm hoping that the Joker is not the next villain in the next movie. I hope it's kind of like a progression. Like, yeah, you saw the Joker in this movie, you possibly see Joker in the next movie, and then he might end up being the big villain in the third or fourth movie. I hope it's kind of like a progression. I hope it's not like, because it kind of reminds me of Batman Begins. A lot of people don't realize that Batman Begins was the first movie, and the sequel was The Dark Knight. So, I'm hoping that this don't be the same thing, because at the end of Batman Begins, Joker left. He left a card, so that was like an Easter egg, like Joker might be the next villain, and that's what it ended up being, the Joker. So I'm hoping it's not the same exact thing. I'm just hoping that the next movie be a different villain, because I kind of want to see some different villains from Batman. I'm like we done seen the last 6 years we done seen what we seen with Jared Leto. The other version of Jared Leto in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we saw Joaquin Phoenix version, and then they also they confirmed that there might be doing a part 2. So it's like you don't want to oversaturate the character without. I'm like, we already have 2 different versions. Now we're about to get a third. But I just think that we need to start incorporating other villains, because it's kind of, you're going to burn us out. You keep showing us the Joker. So, I really enjoyed it. I think you should go to theaters and watch it. I don't think you should wait till it come out on HBO Max. I think you definitely go to the theaters and watch. I watched it in Dolby Cinema, and the sound was crazy, especially when the Batmobile showed up. So, my rating for this movie is a 9 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed it. My only little nitpick was his version of Bruce Wayne, but everything else was great to me. I love the dynamics of the buddy cop between Lieutenant James Gordon and Batman, and then the fact that Batman was like showing up to the crime scene in the suit, and it was just like it was cool, because it was like the cops was kind of like, what he doing here? Like, he was supposed to be here. And as the cops are, they're basically investigating the crime scene, trying to get all the evidence and stuff like that. Batman is like slowly walking around. You can tell he's analyzing every little thing that's going on, and like he's gathering information and data within his head. Plus, he has recording set up to where he can go back and look at different things. And I loved it. It was really 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 smooth. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the sequel. It's a rumors that they might do Hush. It's rumors with Hush, Mr. Freeze, then obviously, the Joker. That's not even a rumor. It was actually in the movie. But I would love to see them do Hush or Mr. Freeze. But I want to see Hush for the most part because he seemed like a very very difficult villain to deal with. Plus he changes his faces a lot. So I would love to see that. So yeah. So y'all definitely go check it out. 9 out of 10. Y'all get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think. And that's it. I'm out. Peace.